Sonny's 1957 album, Way Out West, showcases his ability to extract a seemingly endless string of ideas from a simple theme like I'm an old cowhand. It also shows his affinity for working without a pianist. He said, I felt that I could concentrate on my own stream of thought better. It's hard not to be led by a piano. If I have a great bass player and a great drummer, that's all I need. I want to be free to hear whatever there is to be heard. In this clip from a 1959 Swedish TV show, Sonny answers the question about why there is no piano in his group, seeming not to want to offend pianists along the way. On a smoking version of Duke Ellington's tune, It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing, Sonny demonstrates that he is a master of rhythm as well as melody and harmony.
Sonny, it's a real pleasure to introduce you to the Swedish TV audience.
Thank you very much. I can say hello to the Swedish TV audience.
I see that you have only bass and drums in your group.
Oh, yes, just bass and drums.
No piano?
No piano, no.
And why?
Well, I find that bass and drums gives me the proper support that I need without the added chords that a pianist plays, which sometimes gets in my way and hinders my ideas. Of course, there are many fine piano players in jazz, sure. And this is just for what I want to do at this particular time.
Yes, I see. Well, I think that it's about time that you start playing.
Yeah? Okay. Well, I think we'll start with Duke Ellington's It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing.
Go right ahead.
Okay, here we go.
Sonny was known for his ability to quote other songs during his solos, and also for playing long cadenzas at the beginning or ends of tunes, which sometimes could go on for longer than the tune itself. Here's an example of that from the same TV show. Henry Grimes and Joe Harris are poised, not knowing how long it might be before Sonny signals the end with a subtle movement. Sonny's nickname was Nuke, which referred to his resemblance to a pitcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Don Newcombe. Baseball fan Jimmy Heath explains.
And we call Sonny Nuke. That's his nickname because he has a nose like Don Newcombe that used to pitch for the Dodgers. So everybody in jazz calls, "Hey, Nuke," Sonny Rollins. And he's got a picture, I got it too, of him and Don Newcombe together. They both got that funny nose. Two Nukes.
Although Sonny Rollins was never associated with free jazz as Ornette Coleman was, the two of them were friends and they used to practice together in the 1950s. Ornette similarly liked to work without a piano, and in Sonny's 1958 album Freedom Suite, you can hear a similarity to what Ornette was playing at the time. Growing up in the midst of the Harlem Renaissance and living to see the Black Lives Matter movement in present day, Sonny has been witness to the civil rights movement for nearly a century. In the liner notes for Freedom Suite, he wrote with typical eloquence, "How ironic that the Negro, who more than any other people can claim America's culture as his own, is being persecuted and repressed. That the Negro, who has exemplified the humanities in his very existence, is being rewarded with inhumanity." In the summer of 1959, Sonny withdrew from public performance for almost 3 years to practice. He did so, famously, on the Williamsburg Bridge in New York for up to 16 hours a day, regardless of the weather. Sonny said that he practiced on the bridge simply to avoid disturbing a pregnant neighbor, but it became the stuff of legend. After his return to performing, Sonny said, "I probably could have spent the rest of my life just going up on the bridge, but I realized that I had to get back into the real world." His first album following the sabbatical was titled The Bridge, with Jim Hall on guitar. In this conversation with radio and TV host Travis Smiley, Sonny expresses that while he understands and appreciates admiration or adulation from others, he has never bought into the myth about himself.
In your grand career, you've taken 2 sabbaticals, one in the late 50s, one in 66 or so, but 2 sabbaticals you've taken. The first one really strikes me as interesting because you were at the top of your game. You still are, but you were at that point being heralded all around the world as the man.
Yeah.
And from 59 to 61 or so, you just disappeared. You take a sabbatical. Why'd you do that?
Because, Tavis, I believe in myself inside. I was being told by everybody, "Oh, Sonny, you the man. Don't go away. People forget about you." See? But something inside me was saying, "No, Sonny, you got to improve, man. You got Coltrane and Ornette Coleman and these boys coming up. You better get your stuff together." And I always been a practicer, so I said, "Look, I'm going to do what I feel I have to do, which is to practice my horn, and I'll get away if that's what I got to do," which is what I had to do, just get away from the scene completely. And do what something inside of me tell me to do. See, that's what I'm most proud of, Savas, in my whole life, that I did something that something inside of me told me to do, regardless of what everybody was saying. "Oh, he's great." No, don't mean nothing. I have to know that.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
In 1959, after 12 years of success, a great jazz saxophonist decided he wasn't good enough. Sonny Rollins dropped out of the music business. Night after night, he stood alone on the Brooklyn Bridge and practiced. For months, he blew his music to the stars. And when he felt the time was right, Sonny Rollins came back to his public. Since then, his records have earned the highest acclaim. And today, Sonny Rollins is, at last, good enough. This uncompromising dedication to music is something Pioneer understands. So we design our hi-fi components to let you get everything out of music that a musician puts into it. That's what's made us #1 today with people who care about music. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Sonny took another extended sabbatical from 1969 to 1971, during which he traveled and studied Eastern philosophy and other forms of self-awareness, which would inform and guide the rest of his life. He recently said, "Being a person who understands that giving is better than getting is the proper way to live. Live your life in a positive way. Help people if you can. Don't hurt people. That works perfectly for me, man." You know you've had a cultural impact when you were offered a cameo appearance on The Simpsons, as Sonny was in 2013.
Dear She Done Left Me Records, once again, I write protesting your holographic exploitation of blues icon Bleeding Gums Murphy. I call for a boycott and girl cut of your entire catalog until you... Sonny Rollins?
That's right, Lisa, and I'm here to beg you to stop writing those letters.
You're siding with record companies?
This isn't about money, Lisa. From Tupac Shakur to Dwight Eisenhower, holograms have introduced some of our leading dead people to a new audience of people with money. Resetting. From Tupac Shakur to Dwight Eisenhower.
You're a hologram, aren't you?
No. Resetting.
Have you no shame?
Does this answer your question?
My name is Princess Di, and I'm here to say, when I watch a DVD, it's got to be Blu-ray. Take it, Gandhi.
First Bank of Springfield, say Mumbai to high-checking fees.
For more than 6 decades, Sonny Rollins performed at the highest level, racking up awards and recognition as he advanced to the role of elder statesman that he occupies today in 2020. In this picture, we see him receiving the National Medal of Arts from President Barack Obama in 2010. Sonny had to give up playing the saxophone in 2014 due to lung disease, which in typical style, he did quietly and with a philosophical outlook. He said, "When I had to stop playing, it was traumatic. But I realized that instead of lamenting and crying, I should be grateful for the fact that I was able to do music all of my life. So I had that realization, plus my spiritual beliefs, which I've been cultivating for many years. All that work went into my accepting the fact that I couldn't play my horn. I got pains and aches all over, but spiritually, I feel better than I've ever felt. I'm on the right course." As he reflects on life in his 10th decade, Sonny's philosophy can be distilled down to the golden rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated. In a recent interview, he said, "It's fine to have a musical gift, but then we have to be good human beings. That's what it's all about. I need to express that to young students. That's a gift." In this final clip, Sonny offers blunt words of advice about the level of dedication that is required from those who aspire to his level of artistry, not to mention his sense of style with a strong affinity for the color red.
What advice do you have for young jazz musicians who may be discouraged to continue into the competitive world of music?
Well, there's one thing about music. Music is beyond politics, it's beyond economics, and therefore, if you're going to do music, you have to either, some people, I know a lot of guys that I began with, they started music and they got married, they had a family, and they had to get away from it. You can't do it. You can't do it. Very few people can. After you become successful, yes, then you can have a family and blah, blah, blah. So if you are worrying about, gee, am I going to make a living playing jazz and wow, how am I going to make it? Then jazz is not for you. Then just listen to it. Because to play it as we're singing by dint of this imbroglio we're involved in now, the people are against it. People are against that kind of freedom and that kind of realization of a human being that, wow, there is something else in life besides buying hot dogs and going to the ball game. By the way, I love the ball games too, but that's not all there is to life.